they still should be able to provide information to somebody that could answer the council's questions. And we have these meetings, and this has been going on for a long time, where the people who are present at the meeting often don't have the information, and the answer is, we'll get back to you. And I just wish that we could fix this. I don't know where our city administrator is tonight. Maybe he's got a good reason. We haven't seen much of him lately. But even if he's not here, that's no excuse not to have the information, especially at the agenda fixing when we're trying to sort through resolutions. So that's not a question. I don't need a response right now, because whatever the response is, it doesn't matter. What matters is fix it.
Thank you, Mr. Storch.
Thank you, Mr. Storch. I agree, and I'm sure that the next year we'll have a different scenario. I hereby offer Resolution R263-13, which is awarding contract to the...
I'm sorry, Chairman Reed, we have to...
Vote? I thought we voted.
Adopt
Okay.
as amended. Yes, as amended.
Oh, as amended. Okay. I offer Resolution 262-13 as amended for adoption.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay. May I proceed to Resolution R263-13, awarding a contract to the First Credit Municipal Collection Service and move for its adoption.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No, I oppose.
Can I get a roll call, please? Yes. Councilwoman Reeves?
Yes.
Councilman Mapp?
Yes.
Councilman Storch?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Chairman Reed?
No.
Council President Rivers? Yes.
Okay, I move to Resolution
The
260.
resolution has been adopted.
After a long
Yes.
Well, I think the administration agreed with me. They're going to provide me with information as we move along, probably every quarter. It should be good on how many of the tickets we do collect, and also provide any cost that's associated to the city. As I understand it, no cost will flow to the city.
There'll be an additional under this contract, there'll be an additional 17% added to each bill of collection. The city will pay nothing for the service.
And they pay nothing for the company to seek out and make the telephone calls and send the letters and all of that to the people they're trying to collect from.
That's correct.
Thank you. Okay. Angela?
Yes, please.
Okay. Resolution R264-13, which was removed from the consent agenda, authorizing a refund of overpayment taxes in the amount of $68,987.29 on 32 properties as per tax schedule.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay. Resolution 265, I guess. I'll see it here. And that's a resolution to refund subsequent charges paid by outside lien holders in error on taxes billed in the 1213-33 South Avenue in the amount of $48,948.10.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay, I offer resolution 266-13 to refund subsequent charge paid by an outside lien holder in error on taxes billed to 1247-71 South Avenue in the amount of $7,635.57.
Second.
Could you say that? The right amount.
Yeah.
$77,635.57.
266-13.
No, 19,000.
19,000.
Is that 266-13?
Yes.
Oh, I see, I'm reading the first whereas. It's $19,990.18. The first whereas.
Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay, we'll go to, let me take this off so I can do this right. Resolution 267.
268.
268. 267 was on the consent agenda. Okay. So resolution 268. No, Doc, you got us all confused up here, but I guess you're right. 268. All for 268-13 is a resolution to cancel 2012 and 2013 real estate and special improvement district taxes by SID billed to tax exempt properties. And there is a listing on 1247-71 South Avenue in the amount of $12,549.38.
Second.
All those in favor?
Second. Aye.
Any
That's not
opposed?
all of it. We have several here, if I may read them. 1247-71 South Avenue for 2012 was $12,549.13. For 2013 it was $6274.69. 1213-33 South Avenue. 2012 was $29,468.62. 2013 is $14,734.13. And 1007-11 Park Avenue was $11,029.73. 2013 was $5,514.86. That's the total resolution. I make a motion for adoption.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay, I guess I go to which one? 1269?
273. We have
270 was offered as a motion to
Table.
table.
no 270. I apologize. Was offered as a resolution to come off the consent agenda to a voting item. Is how I asked the question.
Oh,
And 278 was asked to be tabled.
Okay.
278 to be tabled and 270-13 to come off of consent to be voted on, please.
so this is 70.
We have to second it before we discuss.
Yeah.
Okay. Also resolution 270-13, for which I don't have a copy here. So I can find it. And move for its adoption.
I second, and I want to make a comment about this. I saw that there was communication from the administration dated last Thursday expressing a concern about what the action that we took at the agenda fixing. But I don't know about the other council members, even though this is dated Thursday, I didn't get this until just now. So I'm just thinking that we should approve this, and if there is a problem, bring it back in August. Does the administration see a problem with bringing this back in August for this one item?
Yes, the administration does. Based on what the council asked me to do at the agenda fixing session was to quote unquote see if additional funds could be found somewhere else in the operating budget. I asked staff to do just that and to reach out to the city's auditor, Mr. Swisher, to qualify if one, that could be done, to which you do have a copy of his written response that he provided. Once we received that response, we did additional due diligence, even through as late as today, is why you're receiving that now. And we offered that it is our opinion, based on the auditor's representation, as well as if we do not put the revenue back into the Chapter 159 insertion of special items of revenue, it would in fact cause the administration to immediately call a layoff to go into effect, that we would have to move immediately for the 2 individuals impacted by that change in the operating budget.
I'm sorry, it also says that, this is not allowable and illegal to do so.
That is what Mrs. Swisher offered to as his response, yes.
Yeah, we don't want to do,
So,
I have a question.
I'm sorry, we don't want to do anything illegal here.
Certainly, that's why I offered the response that, to the councilman, that if we did not move accordingly, it would in fact cause the administration to move into an immediate layoff position where we would have to begin that process immediately and give 45-day notice to the two persons impacted.
So when we expend our police overtime halfway through the year and then have to transfer funds in, like to the tune of $500,000 or $700,000, I'm just like thinking, well, why can't we do the same thing for a much, much smaller amount?
It was my fault as well. That's why we went to what I deemed to be the person who we should ask that question. And the response is that which he offered, which I won't offer in my interpretation of. I did go seeking that information, and the response is before you.
So,
And I hear your question, but the way I can respond is you have our auditor's written response to how he answers your question.
I have a comment.
Councilor Starr.
Can I?
Just say one thing. The reason why it's okay to do it as far as police or any department is concerned, where we've agreed to X number of dollars in overtime and X number of dollars in regular salary, is that salary and wages, that's considered one. And so whether you break it down by overtime and regular, it doesn't matter. What you have is a pot of $2 million. You're allowed to spend that regardless of whether you call it overtime or regular salary and wages. And that's not the case that we're dealing with here. We simply don't have the money in the budget. The administration didn't provide in the budget to fund these 2 positions. And there are consequences as a result of the administration not doing what it should have done, and that is to provide in the budget for these 2 particular positions. And the fact that it did not, now it has to deal with the consequences of not putting money in the budget to fund those positions. And so I would recommend that we move forward and adopt this resolution as we have it before us, because the administration went back, they confirmed with the auditor who supported the position that we took, and so I think we should move forward and adopt the resolution as presented, and let the administration come back next month with how it plans to deal with those 2 positions.
Yes, I do have the resolution, Madam President. It's Chapter 159 resolution requesting approval to amend the 2013 municipal budget by inserting items of revenue and appropriations in accordance with the NJS 48:4-87. The total amount is $927,997.62, which is grant.
Yeah, we already seconded this, Councilman.
I understand, but I did not introduce a resolution with the amounts and stuff. That's why I'm going
I
to.
understand, but we already seconded, so the motion has been moved in second. Right now, what we're doing, see, because what we're doing is we're discussing it. You can't discuss a resolution without seconding it. So
I understand
right now,
that.
we're discussing the resolution, and
Okay, go ahead and
administration
do
will
what you
explain
want
to
to
you
do.
with that.
I was just clarifying for the public
I
what
think
we
the
were
public have a
doing.
copy of it. What you're saying is that, I mean, what the auditor is saying is that it's illegal for us to, let me just get this right, because I don't want to do anything illegal. Explain to me.
Absolutely, Council President. Basically, if this UEZ money is not part of this resolution right now, we would in essence be overexpending that salary line in the Economic Development Office. We cannot do that with the hopes that there will be a transfer in November, that is unlawful as stated by the auditor. Therefore, our only lawful option, if not introduced as part of this resolution, would be to begin the process of a layoff, which would have various steps. So based on the request of Councilman Storch that we find the funds elsewhere in the budget, we are unable to do that. And would have to go to a layoff plan.
Can I make a comment? I think that, just to concur with what Councilman Mab said, the budget, the city is well aware of what the budget should have been, and it's incumbent on the city to provide a budget. It's not incumbent upon us to use UEZ funds, which is a finite amount of money, to fund salaries. So the administration had plenty of time. We had only passed the budget in June. So the way that I feel is we need to go forward and follow the resolution that we have.
If I may, just for a point of clarity, because I wouldn't want anyone on council who does not know that historically, at least the last dozen years, the way that these positions have been funded has been through the UEZ dollars and not through the operating. So it was not a change of direction for the last budget that was approved. There's been a consistency of how that's been done over the last dozen budgets, as I've been told. So it hasn't been a change or a shift in direction.
And I think that's recognized.
Just for
It was documented, yeah, I mean, just for clarification, but I think the situation we're in now is that we do need to change because we no longer get any new revenues through the sales tax. The UEZ program is essentially over. And all we have left is this one pot of money that as we spend it down, it just disappears. So if our intention, this is a policy decision that the council has to make. If our intention is to spend it down on things that we will never see any benefit from in the future, then we could make that choice. Or we could make the choice of keeping that money and putting it into lasting improvements like streetscape improvements or a revolving loan fund, which has been prioritized by the administration. These are all like investments that will have a return on investment. Spending it on admin, I don't think it's having any return on investment right now. So I strongly urge my colleagues to support this resolution the way it stands tonight.
I agree.
Roll call. Resolution as it stands.
Roll call on resolution 27-13. Councilwoman Reeves?
I abstain.
Next.
Or 270, that's right.
270.
27013. Councilwoman Reeves abstains. Councilman Knapp?
Yes.
Councilman Storch?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Council President Rivers?
Yes.
I have 5 in favor, 1 abstain. Resolution has been adopted.
Thank you. I introduce resolution R271-13, authorizing a family workers summer program agreement with the State of New Jersey Department of Human Services, Division of Family Development, and move for its adoption.
We already did 270. Wait, that was in the consent.
Yeah, that's it.
You want- okay.
We're on 276, I believe.
273?
273. Yeah.
273.
Okay, 273. I hereby introduce resolution 273-13, authorizing approval to enter into a professional service contract for consulting services with the Roger Group, LLC, for the Plainfield Division to obtain certification as a fully accredited law enforcement agency in the amount not to exceed $82,643. And move for its adoption.
All those in favor?
Second comment. I've heard a lot of commentary about this particular item, and I do read the blogs. And I think there's some very good issues raised about this particular resolution and whether or not we should be doing this at this time. And I do have my concerns, that we ought to take pause on this and give us some more time to really look at what is being offered here by way of the certification that's being proposed, to see if it is something that we really want to do at this time, to see if the investment is worth it. I don't think that we should move forward with this at this time. And I really would like to make a motion, but I'm not going to make it as of yet, to table it because my colleagues may want to add some additional comments.
I have a question for the administration. Are there exigent circumstances that is there a reason why we need to pass this like right now rather than in 3 months, 6 months?
I don't believe there are extenuating circumstances that would request that we do it now. I know Director Helwig has been asking and presenting this to the council as something that he deemed and the administration supports, that is really a good thing to have to support our police department, but not imminent, that it has to be done tonight or we lose the consequence of something.
Madam President, I understand that the JIF, if you will, recommend that we do this and we would save a certain amount of money per year. I forget how much it was, do you recall?
I believe the number was somewhere approximately 5%.
5% of what? Of the police budget?
5% of our yearly premium. I just want to make sure it wasn't the individual. 5% of our yearly premiums under the JIP.
Okay. And that amount should equal about how much? Thank you.
Our JIF numbers, they fluctuate from year to year. Unfortunately, I don't have the exact numbers for you this evening, but I can certainly get them to you.
Okay, and if we delay this, are we still open for adopting it, say in August, September, or whenever?
It would be at the will and discretion of the council, and then those opportunities to create savings would exist at the time if approved then by the governing body.
Also, as a procedural matter, if in fact it is tabled this evening, it is for the council to then bring it back as an item. It would not come back from the administration.
Okay, so the motion that the council is making?
Well, just one additional comment before I make the motion. I am not convinced that we need this certification to bring the kinds of changes and transformation within the department that may be needed, and that we can receive those same insurance benefits if we get the kinds of changes and improvements in policies and procedures without necessarily having to go through an accreditation process. I may be wrong, but I think we should give ourselves some more time to really think this through, look at it very carefully, rather than moving forward at this time. And so, for those reasons, I would...
Before you, can I just make a comment before you? I mean, I support the motion that you're about to make. I think we should consider accreditation, but I don't think the timing is good for this. We're about to see a new administration. After November, we will know who that administration is. But what we do know, it's not going to be the current administration. It's not going to be the current mayor. So a decision like this really is going to have like a lasting impact, and it's a big investment. It may be worth it, but I think it really makes sense for the incoming administration to sit down with the current advocates and talk it through and then come back with a recommendation on this. So I do support delaying this, but still keeping it on the table for discussion for the future.
And so with that, I move that we table Resolution 273-13.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any, can I roll call?
Roll call vote. Okay, this is a roll call vote on Resolution R 273-13. To table it, I'm sorry. Councilwoman Breeze?
Yes.
Councilman Met?
Yes.
Councilman Storch?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Councilman Reed,
Yes.
Council President Rivers.
Yes.
Resolution R-273-13 has been tabled.
Thank you. I hereby introduce Resolution R-277, am I correct? 277-13, authorizing a professional service contract to Remington Verdict Engineers for Park Avenue ramp design in the amount not to exceed $16,776 and move for its adoption.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
I hereby offer Resolution R-278-13, which is authorizing a contract between the...
Yes.
Ask that resolution R-278 be tabled.
We're-
Yes.
Thank you very much.
He's tabling on.
So we have to second it first.
Okay, I introduce Resolution R-278-13 to be tabled as per request from the administration.
Second.
Have to do a roll call vote. Councilwoman Reed, this is a resolution to table 278-13. Councilwoman Reed,
Yes.
Councilman Mapp,
Yes.
Councilman Storch,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams, yes. Councilman Reed,
Yes.
Council President Rivers.
Yes.
Resolution 278-13 has been tabled.
Now I hereby introduce Resolution R-279-13, authorizing an interlocal agreement between the County of Union and the City of Plainfield for the resurfacing of Plainfield Avenue and move for its adoption.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
There hereby introduce Resolution 280-13, approving qualified vendors and service providers for engineering service for land use board and move for its adoption.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
I hereby introduce Resolution R-281-13, authorizing a professional service contract to Donald Norwood as engineering consultant to the Division of Planning Board and Board of Adjustments and Historic Preservation Commission in the amount not to exceed $10,000.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay, I move to Resolution 284-13, authorizing the submission of a grant application to Union County for stabilization of the Lampert House in the amount of $63,750 and move for its adoption.
Second with comments.
Yes, sir.
I'm very glad to see that the administration and the proponents of this project came out in force and brought a financial professional to present some of the options that may be available in terms of financing for this project. It is also good to see that both the Historical Society and the HBC, some of the members of those two organizations, came out and spoke in support of this. I intended, as was made by some of my comments earlier in the week, to support this resolution, and I will. My concern was about the project's ability to sustain itself beyond this application process. And I think based on some of what we've heard this evening, there is all indications that this will be able to sustain itself as long as the 501c3 is formed and the project gets up and running. And so I look forward to seeing this become a reality one day in the not too distant future. And it has my support this evening.
I have a comment.
Let's start.
I mean, the last time this came before us, I was one of the people that said I didn't think the city could afford this, and I didn't see private dollars behind it and public support. So tonight I see that we've made we've made some progress, and I want to give credit to the advocates. And this is one of those things that I want to support as much as I want to support anything, because it is a potential asset for the city, and it's a scarce asset that could actually be made into something valuable in the future. But that $1 million project, having what I'm hearing $2,400 behind it at the moment, we have to figure out a way to get from there to something like much more substantial. So tax credits, it sounds like a good idea. I don't know. I haven't heard anything that makes me confident that there's certainly no guarantee about tax credits. But should the city put $63,000 in to stabilize the property and then hope we can make this work? It's a gamble, but it seems to me, and I'm ambivalent about this, but it seems like a gamble worth taking. But unless we do something significant in terms of private support, it is going to come back to the city. Let's be honest about this. We heard somebody at the mic say or imply that this is not going to come back for more funds. It's coming back, let's face it. So can we be creative about how the city could contribute rather than just give dollars? And maybe this is a question for Mr. Mearstadt, because there was some creative use of abandoned properties as a trade to get this thing going. Is it possible that we could actually come up with another 1 or 2 abandoned properties that this property owner or whoever we're bargaining with would actually pay cash for, and then we could put those funds into a dedicated fund as a matching fund for future grants towards this? And that, the city would come out ahead too, because then we'd have this developer, if they're willing, they would be putting properties back on the tax roll, abandoned residential properties. So I just think we're being creative, but I think we need to be more creative. And I'm just wondering if there's a possibility that we could do something like that. There was a nod over there. Could you just say something about that?
If you would, I would certainly ask that Bill take all that you said under consideration and plan to prepare something that we can bring back that's tangible to the council.
If we could get some cash to put into a dedicated fund, so that when the advocates come back for another match, because they're coming, then we have something that's already set aside.
Just one additional comment. I have to disagree with my colleague. I think that we should be supportive as we can of this resolution this evening, but there should be no expectation that there will be funding for this going forward. There are too many competing priorities that the city has. And so this project has my 100% support in terms of it getting off the ground, getting this resolution adopted so that the application can be made to the county to get the $63,000. We will put in our matching $63,000. But there should be no expectation that there will be an ongoing stream of funds coming from the city to sustain this project going forward. And I think that should be made very clear. I think that the proponents of this project understand that, and it is represented very well by Mr. Torre that wouldn't be necessary. And so I suspect that we are on the same page.
Madam President, just one comment. Yes,
Just
please.
one comment. I agree with my colleague, Mr. Matt. I am certainly giving my vote this evening, but I am not giving it with the intention that you're coming back for more money. Okay, thanks so much.
It's my understanding that this resolution authorizes us to apply to Union County for $63,750, which we will have to match. And that in the future, this will stabilize, and you got a lot of stabilization from what I see up there. And then the next step will be to form the 501c3. why can't we form the 501c3 now before we apply for the funds? And if I understood you, Bill, correctly, we have to apply for the funds and then do it? It's really confusing, but I agree with my colleagues that this is an application and we will honor the request to apply to Union County for the funds. And while you apply to Union County, maybe they can supply some of the additional money we need to. So I move for its adoption.
We have more.
Council, you have more comments?
Yes. Who's that? Ms. Williams? Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
I think that this is an important project, and I think that when we think about the future of our city and where we'll be in several years, I think that, having this house and the other house, the Drake House, bookended as two sides of our city, with our city in the middle, I think it's important. In just a few years, we'll be coming up on the centennial of the Historical Society. So I think that, it's incumbent upon everyone to support this project, and for all of us who do care about history, it is important to support this project. And I think that the additional capital that we have really is human capital. We saw some of it tonight, but I think that, given the folks who came up and their expertise and the people that they know, I think that there will be a lot more dollars behind a project like this. And my last comment is, when we think about what we spend money on and what really has value, I think we can't discount, items like this, which don't, necessarily provide immediate tax relief, or other sort of concrete, tangible things that we see. I think we really do need to keep an eye on the future and an eye on history and on what really is important. And just my last part of my comment is that even though I still haven't received any of the information that I've been requesting for a few weeks now, I know that this money, the amount of money that the current administration spends on cake and food, tens of thousands of dollars, would certainly have paid to stabilize this structure. Thank you.
Excuse me, we are supporting this project in the tune of $63,750.
Spend more on food
I
this
do
year.
not expect to put any more money into it. And this will be taxpayers' money. It's not one person's, we can go out and fundraise, do whatever else we need to do to make this project work, but we are definitely, as for me, for my vote, you will not be getting another vote for another dime. Thank you.
Okay, it's been moved by me, and I think it's been seconded by
Yes, it has.
Mr. Matt.
All those, can you have a roll call, please?
Yes. Roll call vote on resolution R 284-13. Councilman Green?
Yes.
Councilman Matt?
Yes.
Councilman Stewart?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Happily, yes.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Council President Rivers?
Yes.
Resolution has been approved.
Thank you. Madam President, I have a new item. I offer the accomplished resolution identified as R 288-13, which authorizes the renewal of a certain social club license for 2013-2014 license term, commonly known as Club Cosmos, trading as Club Cosmos, which was not set forth in the agenda fixing session of July 8, 2013, to be added to the agenda for consideration.
Mr. Clerk, may I have a roll call? Okay, you do that.
Yeah. Second. Right.
Mr. Clerk, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Matt?
Yes.
Councilman Stewart?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Council President Rivers?
Yes.
This resolution 288-13 has been added to the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, will you offer said resolution?
Yes, I hereby introduce Resolution R 288-13, which was a new item just added to the agenda, and move for its adoption.
Second.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Reeves,
Yes.
Councilman Mapp,
Yes.
Councilman Storch,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Chairman Reed,
Yes.
Council President Rivers.
Yes.
Resolution R288-13 has been adopted.
We now have come to ordinance on first reading. Mr. Chairman, will you please offer MC 2013-06 for first reading?
Madam President, under introduction of ordinances on first reading, I introduce the accomplishing ordinance identified as MC 2013-6, which is an ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 2, Administration, Article 2, City Council, Section 3, President of the Council, Section 4, Duties of the President of the Council, Section 9, Regular Meeting, Section 11, Agenda, Section 12, Quorum, Adjournment, Section 13, Voting, and Section 15, Order of Business of the Municipal Code of the City of Plainfield, New Jersey, 1971, and request the title be read.
The clerk's office concurs with the reading of the ordinance.
I move the ordinance to be adopted on first reading, and if adopted, that the clerk shall advertise this ordinance as required by law, and that the second reading of said ordinance shall be held at a regular meeting in the council in the chambers located at 325 Watchung Avenue, Plainfield, New Jersey, on Monday, August 19, 2013 at 8 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be heard. I need a second.
Second.
Comments from the council?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recommend a motion to amend. This ordinance takes into account all of the suggestions that were made by the council. However, one was omitted, and that would be in section 2-3. It states, in the absence of the president of the council shall appoint an interim president by majority vote who shall only serve for the duration of the meeting. Councilman Mapp rightly pointed out that it should also state after that, or until the president of the council arrives, which is normally our practice.
Right.
So I ask that a motion to amend be made, which would include the language that I just read.
So moved.
Second.
Can I have a roll call?
This is a roll call vote for a motion to amend MC 2013-06. Councilman Reeves,
Yes.
Councilman Mapp,
Yes.
Councilman Storch,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Chairman Reed,
Yes.
Council President Rivers.
Yes.
Okay, and then I have to offer it for adoption, correct? As amended.
Yes.
Therefore, I offer it as adoption as amended. I need a second, I guess.
Second.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Reeves,
Yes.
Councilman Mapp,
Yes.
Councilman Storch,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Chairman Reed,
Yes.
Council President Rivers.
Yes.
The ordinance MC 2013-06 as amended has been adopted.
Thank you.
On the
On
first
first
reading.
reading.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam President, you have it.
We now have come to the general public comment segment of tonight's meeting. Any resident or taxpayer of Plainfield is welcome to comment on any governmental item of concern to them during the general public comment segment of the council meeting. Citizens must clearly state their name and address to the clerk. Once the speaker is recognized by the presiding officer to speak, a total of 60 minutes has been allocated for all public comments to be presented. Large groups are urged to select a spokesperson to represent them. Each person is allocated 5 minutes to speak. The presiding officer or a majority on the council may extend the length of time allocated cumulatively or individually. It is not a question and answer period. Neither the presiding officer nor council members will engage in a back and forth exchange, so speakers are encouraged to present all of their views. The presiding officer, as well as any council member, may respond to any comment after such speaker is finished. The presiding officer may refer the speaker to the city administrator, or an appropriate department head, and any council member may choose to respond in writing to individual citizens.
Okay, third and last time. Dottie Guttenkamp, 414 Randolph Road. First, thank you very much for acting so quickly on my request for a speedy resolution to go to the Department of Justice in the Trayvon Martin case. I appreciate that very much, and I think all of Plainfield will. I personally feel absolutely outraged by the verdict. Secondly, I want to congratulate you on the Lambkin House grant. I think that is an important part of the history of this city, and as Councilwoman Williams said, it's from end to end, and the rest of us are on here. Thirdly, I want to point out to you with respect to Resolution 262-13, that in our household, we have been using an alternative electricity provider for several years now. And while the bill still comes through PSE&G, the electricity is itemized, and PSG always very conveniently points out how much more it would have been had it come through PSE&G. I believe that the city will wind up saving money, and furthermore, that when the bills come in, y'all will know how much you're saving. And fourth and last, with respect to R 28113, I know that at my age, time goes by a lot faster than it used to. But it doesn't seem to me that the time period of January 1, 2013 through December 31, 2013 is in fact 18 months. But that's what this says. For the 18-month time period of January 1, 2013 through December 31, 2013. On my calendar, that's 12 months.
On mine too.
I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Is that a typo?
It is, sir. It's a 12-month contract, and it is a typo that we attempted to make clarification on from the agenda fixing session. We changed the calendar date, but not the verbiage. Our apology.
Thank you very much for clarifying it. I thought I was getting older than I am, older than I am. Thank you, and good night.
Thank you.
And in response to that, I think the actual resolution is correct.
That is correct.
Go ahead.
Johnny Pritchard, 723 Arlington Avenue in Plainfield. Three things I'd like to go over with you, members of the council. First, regarding Lieutenant Thomas Lowe, Plainfield Fire Department. I think it's best that we honor the memory of a good firefighter and a good officer at Plainfield FD who served us well in any kind of weather, night and day. When that alarm rang, he slid that pole and hopped that tailboard and over the fire, not knowing what dangers or hazards he might encounter en route or at the scene of the fire. He protected us day and night. Firefighting is one of the most dangerous occupations in this country today. Let's not forget the fact that in New York, 343 New York City firefighters were killed on September 11th in that dastardly attack in New York City on the World Trade Center. Lord did serve us well. I don't know whether he served in the military service before he became a firefighter, but I certainly hope to find out. And if he did, that would be fine too. Because he served our country well, he served our city well. And I certainly hope to find out about his previous military service, if any, and I certainly hope that there is. Secondly, I'd like to congratulate the DPW for repairing all of those lights at the War Memorial thing. The lights that were fixed, that shines a light on the names of those who served our country, those who died in the service of our country in every war. That includes Vietnam. And in honor of those who died in Vietnam, with their permission, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to sing. They loved us so. Every day in 100 ways they told us so. In honesty, in affection, they told us so. They loved us so. Every day in 100 ways they showed us so. With loyalty and bravery they showed us so. They were our defenders and they kept us free. They took it all to guard us and fought for liberty. They loved us so, and we should know, for we love them so. And lastly, we need to reactivate Muhlenberg. We're 30 miles away from being dead center because New York is still a terrorist target. Despite the denials of some people that we're not at war, we still are at war against terrorism. And we need to reactivate Muhlenberg. New Brunswick has 2 hospitals within its city limits. Why not Plainfield have a hospital of its own? That means we need to reactivate Muhlenberg. And I'm not talking about head colds or earaches, I'm talking about many people's lives. And are we going to give up on Muhlenberg? Oh, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that at all because we need a hospital that is capable of mission. We need a hospital that can serve the city and save many people's lives. And I submit to you, ladies and gentlemen of the council, the sooner we activate Muhlenberg, the better off we all will be. Do I make myself clear?
Good evening, Council. First of all, my name is Alex Tolliver. I live at 123 Southern Avenue, Plainfield. I don't have a question. Yes, I do have one question. I have a compliment. I'd like to compliment the city on the street improvement. But there is a question. I've heard recently that the paving on the First Ward, Emerson Avenue, they've had the paving and curbing, etc. I live on Sumner and is in dire need of repaving and curbing. And I would like to know, from what I hear here, that is stopping on Emerson. Is this going to be a continual or is it stopping? This I really need to know because I have potholes that actually I could put in I would say what we call it, fine for breaking, for messing up my rims of the car. This street is really in bad shape and everyone there is a homeowner. There's more traffic on Sumner Avenue than is on Emerson Avenue. So I would like to know from the council, from anyone here, what are their intentions? What are your intentions as far as Sumner Avenue? This actually is, it leads into Emerson School, it's the backside of it. So there's Emerson Avenue, there's Sumner. Sumner, I've complained years and years and years about it. And the traffic there is actually, it's probably one of the most traffic laden streets is in that whole area. They run through there like 40, 50 miles an hour. We do need curb. They got their, what do you call those, railroad tires on the side. Is there any plans in the near future to repave the streets I live on, which is Sumner? Yes, no, or do I sit down?
Mr. Tolliver, We do have a chart set up. I will go back and look at the chart and see where you are, where Sumner Avenue is on that chart and let you know.
Sumner.
No back and forth, I'm sorry.
Okay, no back and
Sorry,
forth,
no back and
okay. Well, I just actually like to know, because that street, I have many years, have lived there, and I have complained about the potholes, they fill them, and, you know, next thing you know, the trucks come through, you name it. It is in a very bad disarray. Thank you.
Thank you.
With respect to, Mr. Reeds has asked a question also, I will look on the schedule and respond to Mr. Tolliver as well as the governing body.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Eloise Stanley, 937 Hillside Avenue. I tried to stand up before because I didn't know the rules. But I just wanted to point out that over the course of the last decade, the Board of Trustees at the Drake House have raised over $700,000. And we did come to the city for a match, and there was some confusion, I think because Pizzapalia had left, and there was that issue that we came to the council for the $52,000. But we understand the situation in the county, and we look for other sources for matching funds. Very often, we can get a grant from the state to match the county grant, and/or we have to write to foundations and other organizations. So I just wanted you to know that it is possible. It's not easy, but it is possible to raise funds for this type of preservation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Harold Hughes, 1353 Cushing Road. I want to thank the council for making me feel that I'm not the 21st century Don Quixote tonight. And I do thank Acting City Administrator Jackson for removing 27013 from the consent agenda. I don't know how I missed that. I did have it on my pre-meeting list. But of course, any amendment to the budget should not be on a consent agenda. I don't believe that. I want to briefly speak about the Zimmerman thing, and I first want to say that the Attorney General Holder has announced that the federal government and its department are going to thoroughly investigate to see if there is basis for federal action in this particular case, and I think there will be found something about cannot be for murder or killing, of course, which Zimmerman is guilty of, but unfortunately was found not guilty because of the Florida laws, and being he's not declared innocent, and we know he's not innocent. So I think the depriving, which is an unfortunate term, the civil rights will be probably the only and difficult course that the government can do. You are going to pass a resolution and send it on, and I don't know whether we, the public, will have a chance to comment on it. I think because you're a government body, and we all stand up here and make a pledge to really uphold the laws of this country. And the laws of this country provide a jury trial by peers, and supposedly it's the unblemished trial. We can be disappointed, upset about the findings of the jury. I think we have to take granted that the jury acted in their best capability. So being outraged is a little bit strong. We don't like it. We should express that we don't like their decision. And we certainly should add to the ordinance or appealing to the government, federal government, to take action in this regard. As I said before, I'm sure they will. And I just hope that the resolution which you're going to send in before we ever have a chance to look at it will not express a outrage. That's the one word I don't think we should do, because we are dedicated, and you're dedicated in upholding the laws of this country. Thank you.
My name is Sandra Taylor Williams. I live at 312 New Street here in Plainfield. We have freedom of speech here in this country, so I have the right to say anything I think I have to say. It's a shame, if I go over my time limit, could you please allow me extra time? It's sad how the council sits up here and I guess just argue amongst themselves, don't respect each other. It's sad. It's really sad, and something needs to be done about it. How do you think you look to us out here on this side? How do you think you look? It's really, really sad. And another thing, we come here to tell you about our problems. If we have an issue, we go to City Hall to see the department or try to get it straightened out. They tell us, well, if you don't like it or if nothing can be done, come to the council meeting. We come here to you guys. You give us 5 minutes to speak. We don't get any answers, maybe every now and then. So who do we go to get an answer when we have a problem? Who do we go to? You sit there, you don't say anything, you don't, except if it's maybe something, a little itty bitty thing. But when we have major problems, who and where do we go to get answers? We can't go to Mr. Barrett, he's not here. We can't go to your mayor, she's never here. So who do we go to get answers to our problems? We need to know this. And when we have problems, what gets done about them? No one looks into the issues. We come here with complaints about this, what's going on in our city, where we pay the taxes, and we still don't get any results. I have an issue with Mrs. Brown, Sharon Brown down there at the center. No one has looked into it. Who? It doesn't make sense. I have people's names, telephone numbers. People have even given me notes and letters about this woman. No one investigates. No one goes to see about it. I don't know if you don't care. I don't know. Not only me, other people have issues with her also. And no one does anything about it. Is it so that she can't be, looked at or see if she's doing wrong or things she's done wrong or what? People act like they're afraid of her. I don't know why. I'm not. I feel that you treat me the way you want to be treated. You don't take advantage of me because you have power and you can do what you want. That woman does anything down there at that center that she wants, and she answers to no one. To no one. And you guys don't do anything about it. You don't look into it. I don't even know if you don't even care enough. I have no idea. And it's ridiculous. When she brings you down there, it's all goodies and smiles and faces and things that she do. But people are not down there every day to see how this woman treats these seniors. A lot of people are intimidated by her. They're afraid of her. Why? I don't know. She walks around there barefoot. She does anything at that center that she wants. And no one, and she doesn't answer anything. And no one has, I guess, don't care. I don't know. But something needs to be done. I have come here several times, a year or two almost. Nothing is done. And I keep saying I'm going to have to go out of state, but look, I'm going to have to go out of state, out of country, everything else. Go to contact the freeholders, contact the representatives, even go to the president. Because you guys aren't doing anything. You don't care. It doesn't seem like to me, I don't know what it is. But something needs to be done. And as council people that I love you all dearly, but I'm not in love with none of you. Just like that lady said a couple of weeks ago from up the East End, how you guys get out of the street, you humble, you ask people to vote for you. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But once you get in office, what do? Something needs to be done. And as far as the center, I would like to know if there's any kind of way that we can get an advisory board down there with people, with members, not handpicked people by Sharon. We had an election back in January that this woman came in and took over completely. She has no business being at a membership meeting at all. She bullied the ballot box. She wouldn't let anyone see what was in it, how many votes were put in it by her maybe, earlier or whatever. We don't know. She had no business even being in the meeting, and she took the meeting over. Now, you know that's not right. So she's getting charges brought up on her against that. A lot of charges. Harassment, taking advantage of people. How are you going to tell a member when donuts come in from a shop that she doesn't even own, that they're donated to the center, he's got to eat the stale ones first before he can have the fresh ones? That's not your business. Those aren't your donuts. She has said so many things. Well, she did. You guys laughed, but that's what she told the guy. He went to get some coffee, and while he was standing in there, the new donuts came in. Oh no, you eat the stale ones first. You can't have the fresh ones. No, those are not her donuts. I mean, there's so many things that happen down there. It's ridiculous. She tells people they can't eat in certain rooms, but she can give her staff birthday parties in the same conference room where no one else can take food. This woman is crazy. And I have told her that. It's ridiculous. Somebody needs to check into what's going on at that center. If you're not there to eat by 12 o'clock, you don't eat. That's not her food. You can't tell people that. You can't go in the pool room and take the guys' money that they save for the guys who come in when they have pool tournaments and take their money. That's not your money. That's just what she did. But they raised so much cane about it. She said, oh, I'll put it back. But she hadn't been taking it in the first place. There's so many things down there this woman has done that it needs to be looked into. And like I said, is there any way that we can get an advisory board down there for things that that have gone bad, that need to be corrected, that we can complain about to you guys? Thank you.
Mr. Jackson, could you get in touch with Ms. Sandra Taylor and give the council a written response as to some of these accusations?
I'm happy to do it.
Thank you.
I do want to make a comment.
Yes.
Not for debate, but I think when a citizen stands up in public at the microphone and calls, I think if I understood, a staff person was being described as crazy.
Well, she
I think, excuse me, I'm not.
I'm sorry, go ahead, you're right.
I'm
sorry.
looking for a response.
Go ahead.
I think it's inappropriate, and I think if you have a strong concern about a staff person, then you file a written grievance, and you go through the proper channels, but you don't come to the public microphone and call a staff person crazy. I object to that, and I think our staff deserve better treatment. If they did something wrong, it would come out in an investigation. And I would like to know, and this is a question I'd like to have added to the, I guess, at the beginning of the meeting when the council gets answers to questions. I would like to know, do we have a formal grievance procedure at the senior center? And has it been followed in this instance? I don't need to know the detail. I just want to know, because if you're going to make an accusation and you're going to call people names, you better be able to back it up with some facts, some concrete evidence, not just vague allegations. Thank you.
Well, it's no better than when she sticks her finger up there like this.
No back and forth.
Right in front of the
Ms. Taylor?
Yes, ma'am. You're
Thank
right. You're right. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You're right.
Nancy Theodore, 1129 Merle Avenue. I want to thank the council for their vision tonight on voting on the Larkin House. Back in 1921, when a group of West Enders got together with the Civic Association and saved the Drake House from demolition. The city council then took on the property. They passed it on from that organization to the city. And they had a vision. And we're here almost like Councilwoman Williams said, it's almost 100 years later, and they had a vision. I think one of the things the city council can also do as regards to the Lampkin House, the Drake House, and the other Revolutionary War sites in the city of Plainfield, including Greenwood Park, is to join as a partner with Crossroads for the American Revolution. That is a national heritage site. Unfortunately, when it first got started, I was involved with it and I was advocating on behalf of the Drake House and other areas in Plainfield. And some of the areas in this central Jersey area were left off. But I understand that we can petition the Congress, Congressman Holt, to try to get our areas on. I think that that would be an advisable thing. But the first step is the city has to sign on as a partner with Crossroads for the American Revolution. We have a battlefield site in this city. There is battlefield protection money. Jesse Dobier was in the Revolutionary War. 3 of the Drakes were in the Revolutionary War, including their free slave, Caesar, who was in the Revolutionary War. There are a lot of other sites in the city, including the Fitzrandolph House. That house did not get destroyed during the Revolutionary War. There were no damages. You can look it up in the state archives. There is so much that we can do as far as cultural and heritage tourism. But I also want you to understand that with the Lampkin House as well as the Drake House, there is another way of raising money, and that's through genealogy tourism. Yesterday, unexpectedly, 4 people drove up to the Drake House from the state of Oklahoma. They were Drake ancestors. I spent almost 7 hours of my day taking them around, talking to them, going through genealogy. The Lampkin House has the Dobiers, it has the Ware family, it also has the Ackerman family. If you go on ancestry.com, that's all the rage now. Who do you think you are? This city has, because the Drake House was put on the National Register in 1973, you can go down, there's a beautiful exhibit there right now, go look at it and look at the history. There are 10 sites in the city that are districts, and there's 21 individual sites. And we have pictures of them that came off the National Register down there on an exhibit through the end of August. The visual is amazing what private citizens have done to preserve the history in this town. And that is an economic engine. These people from Oklahoma, unfortunately, had to get a hotel in Somerset County, okay? But they spent their money here. That's a lot of money that came out of one little visit to the Drake House. They had to buy gas, they had to buy food, and they specifically came because of genealogy tourism. And there's a lot of other people. I've also entertained people from Maryland this year, and there's a whole lot of other states that I've entertained in the Drake House, and so have other members of the board and trustees there. And so the first step is to get the city as a partner with the Crossroads of the American Revolution, and then we can move on from there, and I'd be happy to help you. I've talked about this at the county level, and I believe they're now on board, and so we just have to keep moving forward. And it's also a way to teach our children American history that's been sanitized through the years. And we have to get this through to these kids, and these kids are getting it. They're getting it, and they're impressed that George Washington was in Plainfield. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sandy Gershman, 957 Madison Avenue. As always, Nancy said it best, so I'm not going to bring up any of the stuff she's already covered, but I do thank you for giving the Lampkin House a new lease on life and an opportunity to come back from the dead or the near dead. I have 2 questions that have nothing to do with the Lampkin House. One is about the warehouse fire down in the West End off of Front Street the other day. I'm concerned about the fire hydrant that was discovered not to be working, because it makes me wonder if the one in front of my house is working. So who's responsible? Why wasn't it working? What's being done to make sure that the rest of them are working? Okay, that's one set of questions. The other question I have is related to the smoking ordinance that you all just passed. I'm assuming that signs are going up to alert people that they can't smoke. So I wanted to know, has that been budgeted for, and how many signs are there going to be, and what's the plan to keep those signs intact? Because we know what happens to signs.
Signs are free.
Signs are free.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Free is good.
Yeah.
Somebody's paying for it, but we're not.
I think the state is.
Well, it's our money anyway. It's coming out of a different pocket. So I have a third question that relates to signs, and that is, there are a number of signs around town, including one right outside this building, which you can't read because they're so old and faded. And it's not just my eyesight, they really can't be read. And is there some sort of plan to replace, to make note of those signs and replace them? I mean, the short answer would be yes, but...
The short answer is absolutely yes. We're now engaged in inventory of our signage in the city and trying to put together a plan on how to phase in restoration. And we've begun in small areas of doing that, but we're looking at it comprehensively now through my street yard department.
Good,
division.
thank you.
Yes.
So I guess next time we'll hear about the fire hydrants.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Any more?
Gemma Richards, 723 Arlington Avenue. I have something to say about the Zimmerman case, which essentially was tried extensively in the press. And I think we have really levels of news coverage, and I think that it depends on what news sources you are following, what you can understand of the various aspects of the trial. And based on what the jury was presented with, I don't think they could conscientiously have rendered any other verdict than the one that they did. And also, I just want to hand in to the City Council something which is a summary of what Alan Dershowitz thought about the subject. And he thought that rather than Zimmerman being investigated at the federal level for violation of civil rights, the prosecutors in Florida and their office should be investigated for that. So I think it pays to look at both sides of an issue. That's what I'm going to say on that.
Thank you.
I move that we close public comment.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
Safe trip home.